The crisis between the Senate and the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, worsened on Wednesday when the lawmakers resolved to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari to report the activities of the police boss to him. President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, had at the plenary told the chamber that the IG was plotting to implicate him in the trial of some suspects arrested in Kwara State. Now I have Director General, International Institute of Professional Security, Tony Ofoyetan, joining us now to discuss the development. Thank you very much for finding time to join us.
Thank you. Good morning.
So it all began last year, and it was about a senator indicting the IGP of some misgivings in his administration. This year is about the senator representing Kogi West and how the police handled that case. Now the Senate has called him unfit to hold any public office. What do you make of this recent development about, the plot to implicate the Senate president?
Well, I think it's a sheer power play, especially between the Senate and the police formation. Both of them have their rights, and I think both of them are using their power as it were. The Senate, of course, has succeeded in, however you put it, has succeeded in putting a taint on the person and the record of the present IGP. And that's just the truth. And it will be on record, except it is otherwise eradicated, so to say. Now, on the other hand, the police, too, on its own, has been able to succeed in also linking crime and criminality to some of them, especially Dino Melaye. Of course, you saw the drama that unfolded, even the drama of trying to jump off a moving vehicle. Now he is in court. The case has been adjourned sine die indefinitely. Now, of course, the godfather of Dino Melaye happened to be Saraki, as it were. And now you have some people being arrested. The police have the right to arrest. They have a right to investigate and prosecute. Now, why the nexus? The nexus now is that the circumstances that surround the arrest, the place the arrest was effected, and the eventual moving of the suspect from Kwara to Abuja, knowing full well that the Senate and the IGP are not in good terms, of course, brings a nexus of a bias.
But we already heard from the IGP saying that these arrests has nothing to do with the Senate president, and that perhaps this move might even compromise the investigation, as it were. Is there a need to take this to Mr. President if that position is already being made?
Now, you see, one thing you must understand is that you are a journalist. I am an analyst. What they do there is from informed internal perspective. They have better information than you do. And they also, of course, know how to tackle it better than you and I do. Now, if the IG and if the Senate feels very well that looking at the antecedents, and of course, like I've said, you've been able to see a nexus. You've been able to see a nexus between what happened in Kwara going to Abuja, what happened in Kogi coming to Abuja, and what is happening between the police and the Senate. Now, there's a nexus. It is that nexus that is now making the Senate to say, look, there's this suspicion that this man is trying to rope us, but that is a different case. The major thing will now be, if you say that this man is trying to rope you, that means that, there's the most likely tendency that the people that have been arrested have a link with you in one way or the other. Now, of course, police investigation is not final, especially when it comes to criminal matter of such magnitude. When they do the investigation and get to a certain level, it is transferred to the office of the DPP, under the Attorney General of the Federation. It is the Attorney General of the Federation that determines whether there's an indictable offense in whatever has been investigated or not. That's right. Now, it is the Inspector General of Police that will prosecute this type of case. So I don't see that high level of agitation in it, except for the fact that, okay, the issue of politics, the issue of vengeance and vindictiveness is majorly what I'm saying.
Just like you said, there are some who would say there is a political undertone to whatever it is that is playing out. But what is the fallout of this seeming discord between the Senate and a very important security outfit like the police, especially at such a time like this in the nation's history where we seem to have quite a number of insecurity across the board?
I think the major fallout has to do with a society that has built people, individuals that are stronger than institutions. You would have seen severally that the Senate has been reduced to little or nothing, as it were. We are talking of a Senate that cannot summon even anybody, and if it summon anybody and the person refuses to come, heaven will not fall. We've had series of such examples from the custom boss, the police, IG, ministers, and the like have been summoned severally, and they give the flimsy excuse, and they will not come, and nothing will be done to them. Now, that is the major fallout I see. And unfortunately for the Senate should really look inward. Now look at how to, amend some of these laws in a manner that will strengthen institutions and not individuals. Now you are running to the president. To do what? The president is an individual, for goodness sake. If you have stronger institutions, you don't need the president in this type of situation. You need the institution. If you have a strong judicial system, what are you going to do in the presidency? I hope you understand what I'm saying.
That's right.
Now these are areas that the Senate should now go back, sit down, let them devoid themselves of the politics, devoid themselves of religious sentiment, nepotism, and all those bigotry. Sit down and do a proper work for the nation.
You appear to be putting all of these on the Senate.
Sorry?
You appear to be putting all of these on the Senate.
Yes, they should look inward. I'm not putting everything on them. But you can see as it is now that they are having a backlash of what they ought to have done right from the beginning. Proper legislation, strengthen the institutions.
Tony Ofoyetan is Director General, International Institute of Professional Security. Thank you very much for finding time to join us on the news this hour.
Thank you for having me.
Apparently, the last has not been heard as regards the feud ongoing between the Senate and the police. We'll take a break now and we'll be back with more stories. Stay with us.